Good as ever.
I'll take your word for it. Okay, thanks for coming in today. My name's Scott Fitzgerald. I'm Chief Superintendent from the South Australia Police, and I'm currently relieving as the Assistant Commissioner. Police are investigating the marking of prohibited symbols and offensive messages at Camden Park. At 7:40 on Saturday morning, the 11th of July, police were called to a house at Camden Park where prohibited symbols, namely swastikas, and offensive messages were graffitied to the house. Whilst we are investigating the reason for the attack, we believe the use of these symbols in the messaging is because the occupants are Jewish. CCTV footage from a neighbouring property has identified a dark-coloured sedan, a vehicle arriving, and two people get out and approach the house. We want to speak to those people, and we're asking anyone who has any information about their identity or anything that may lead to us being able to identify those people to please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. There is no place in South Australia for anti-Semitism. There is no place for intolerance, and we won't tolerate it. We, in the strongest terms, condemn these actions. The graffitiing of prohibited symbols is an offence. It attracts the penalty of 12 months imprisonment or a maximum $20,000 fine. Unfortunately, we occasionally get called from reports from members of the community where we identify prohibited symbols such as swastikas graffitied around the place. An example of that is this morning we were called to Moana beach. There were a member of the public identified a number of swastikas and offensive messages which had been written in texter on some wooden bollards. Now, whilst these messages appear to be old and appear to have faded, they are certainly, once again, completely unacceptable, and it is an offence. So we encourage communities to report any prohibited symbols or any offensive messaging or anti-Semitic messages to the police. Reporting these incidents allows the police to be able to gather information with regard to who is utilising these symbols so that we can prevent any future occurrences. Anyone has information in relation to these offences or any others, so ask them to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. And happy to take questions.
Do the police believe that the perpetrators were known to the family, given they must have known they were Jewish, the occupants of the home?
We're still investigating the motivation for the attack, but certainly the symbols and the offensive messaging that was used, we believe was used because they were Jewish.
These sorts of acts are quite commonplace in the eastern states. Are we, needing to be concerned as South Australians that these are going to start creeping in now, becoming more common?
We have to be vigilant to stamp out anti-Semitism. However, there is no evidence to suggest that there is any increase in those type of attacks in South Australia.
We saw this morning patrols in the area driving past the property. Have police increased their presence at obviously the property, but other significant sites for Jewish people at all?
Yes, certainly around the property in question at Camden Park, we'll increase our patrols and we'll make the occupants of that property feel safe as best we can. We work closely with the Jewish community and with senior Jewish leaders who have been in contact with over the weekend, and we'll continue to do so.
How frequently are those patrols going to be around that particular house?
Although we're periodic, and I don't think it'd be good to be able to mention how often.
How often do these sorts of things happen, like targeted attacks like that on members of the Jewish community?
I suppose they occur occasionally, and you will see them. I read that in the media that is published here. However, it's our duty as police and also a duty of citizens to be able to identify it and prevent it from occurring.
What would your message be to the Jewish community this afternoon?
We are doing everything in our power to make you feel safe, to make you be safe, and we are working with your senior leaders to be able to achieve that.
The residents of the home have said that they're quite worried about escalation. Is that a concern that police share?
Obviously, we're investigating this particular incident. However, there's no evidence of any uptick in South Australia.
The owners of the home, they want to keep the, you know, the sort of hate messages and swastikas up there to serve as sort of a warning and show that this stuff is happening. Will police allow them to do that?
Okay, so it's an offence to publish prohibited symbols. However, I think the victims didn't publish the symbol, did they?
No.
So I think that we'll work with the victim in relation to that. Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you on Mount Gambier, have you got any update on the mysterious gas poisoning?
So in Gambier yesterday, there were 4 people, obviously, that were located. 3 of those people received medical treatment. 1 unfortunately passed. We are preparing a report from the coroner.
Is there any connection with heat beads in relation to the poisoning?
Yeah, we're still investigating that. So yeah, I don't have the information to be able to
Are
provide.
there any sort of messages in terms of safety for using sort of heating inside a home?
Yeah, I think that using heating in confined spaces, we need to be aware of what's going on with regard to that, and I'll defer to the MFS on that one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Assistant Commissioner. Have a good weekend. All right, thank you, guys.